Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. And CIG just made some big updates about Invictus. We now have the official page up. You guys can see the countdown on the screen. Invictus is just under 2 weeks away. Very exciting stuff. A lot of people have been talking about this footage that you've seen here, this little ship down in the corner, this ship here. A lot of people are suspecting this is the Mirai Guardian MX, and this ship right here is highly up for debate. Some people think it's the Asgard. There are a lot of options of what ships could be coming out, right? We don't have to wait too much longer. Let's go over this page. So first off, we have the map. This is just Area 18. You have like a Memorial Spaceport there, the Invictus Launch Week Convention Center, and of course the Idris Tour. It's going to be on top of the main building there at Area 18. You just go up to the roof and you can take a tour of it. Very cool ship. It is the Idris P. And then CIG had posted this video of the Starlancer TAC, giving us a deeper look inside to what this ship is going to be like. So it's not a long video. We're just going to watch it together here. Behind the ships,
Starlancer TAC is a variant of the Starlancer series. It kind of takes the Starlancer chassis and outfits it with a more offensive loadout. It's got remote turrets on top. The co-pilot's got some fun little missile turrets at the rear to keep people off the back end.
So that's one of the main differences so far. The regular Starlancer does not have these missile turrets at the back. I think you have the same remote turrets on top, the front and rear remote turrets.
You don't have access to every single gun on it. There's only 4 pilot-controlled guns.
Yeah, so on the standard Starlancer, you have 4x4, one kind of dual link turret, I think is what they call it, where the pilot has one on this side and one on that side, and you can, you know, separate out your guns to whatever flying pattern you prefer. And then of course you have a remote turret here and a remote turret here, and that's the same on the regular Starlancer Max. But the difference is this kind of middle area here. I believe this is the door that opens up for the Fury hangar. So that's pretty exciting. We'll probably see that in
You'll
this
notice
video
immediately from the exterior that it has these new 2 twin size 5 man turrets.
Okay, so we can see it looks like these kind of side turrets come out a little bit, and it's all encased in glass, so you should have really good visibility from this turret here. It looks like this is the left side. This looks like the docking collar.
What makes this MISC is the shape language that was used to make this turret. It replicates the exterior of the ship, which contains round forms, welded forms, and chunky shapes.
Yeah, you can see a better view of it here. Those are pretty large guns on the side there.
MISC as a manufacturer are kind of really proud of their manufacturing, and they're not afraid to show it. You kind of see all the compound forms that reveal the underlying structure, where the fuel cells are, but it's a little more refined. Paneling is a lot cleaner. It's not something like a Drake ship where everything is just completely exposed. I really like the MISC look. It's got this sort of darker stealth armor, so it looks really like sleek. The guys have done a really great job with the lighting on it. It's got this like really mean looking red lighting. It just looks really sick.
Yeah, I really like the look of the TAC and the regular Starlancer Max. It looks like they didn't really change too much about the exterior between these two ships. The main difference is going to be those turrets on either side.
It does not have a cargo lift, but it still has your cargo bay in the back for 96 SCU and space for holding ground vehicles. And you also have the addition of a hangar up top.
So that's kind of interesting. I don't know if I recognized that the first time. I can't really tell what vehicle that is, perhaps this is the new Grey Cat vehicle. You see the lights there, and I'm assuming these are the wheels. You guys probably aren't gonna be able to see this, but when you go and you watch this video on the page, take close attention to this vehicle. I'm not sure what vehicle that is. Again, it could be the Grey Cat vehicle.
And you also have the addition of a hangar up top. There were a lot of requests for a version that could carry a ship, so I'm glad we've managed to figure that out.
Yeah, and you can see here the door looks like it kind of just goes inside these rails here. This is a pretty nice looking hangar. It looks like it can really just fit the Fury. Maybe it might be able to fit the NPUV. Looks like it might be around that size as the Idris NPUV hangar. But I don't really think there's any ships that really have a quantum drive that's going to be able to fit in here.
It can accommodate one Fury, but if you are a good pilot, you can accommodate two as well.
Okay.
What we've done is we've stripped out the Max's separate habitation rooms and replaced those with the hangar.
It's not that much big, but it's compact. It has a landing pad there with really cool, small refuel.
That's also kind of interesting. It looks like it has a staircase that goes up to this hangar. So I'm not entirely sure where this staircase is going to be on the first level of the ship going up to the second one here. But I like that, right? Because you have direct access to the hangar instead of having to go up the main elevator or one of the elevators at the back, right? You can just kind of, walk up here to this one. There are a few ships that have staircases. I'm really interested to get this ship into my hands myself to see what that's actually going to be like.
Parts.
We've extended the Max's habitation kitchen area to have its own bunk room. On the lower deck, we've replaced the long cargo bridge sort of area with a troop deployment area where some soldiers can jump out of like an extending gantry.
What CAG has essentially said about these jump seats is that they're not just going to be seats. You're going to be able to have your loadout in them, stored in them, right? So when you sit down, you're not going to have to take off your helmet and your backpack and all that kind of stuff like other seats. You're just going to be able to sit in them with all that stuff on, and they kind of like load on you or whatever as you get up and you go out of them. So jump seats in dedicated drop ships are going to be more valuable than regular seats on a ship. So that kind of adds a little bit more value to a ship like the Starlancer TAC.
And between that and the cargo bay is a small medical room.
No other MISC ships has a medical bay, so it was a bit hard at the first to get used to it.
And I gotta say, this room is beautiful, right? This is exactly what I would want out of a MISC medical bay. It really, I think people are really going to be excited about something like the Endeavor Hope, right? Designed to have a large medical suite. If you're into medical gameplay, you're definitely going to want to be in, these MISC medical rooms. Again, I really think CAG knocked it out of the park with this one. This looks great.
Like how the design will be. What I feel the people will notice most will be the aesthetic of it. These bright lights and those metal floors. It's a bit high-tech.
So yeah, you have these canisters here. I don't really think they have any primary functionality, but on each side of the bed, you have the screen there that you can set your imprint, and of course below that you have this kind of area that other medical kind of vehicles have, where you can put something in that doesn't exactly work yet.
But it's not like very high maintenance.
Yeah, you have two. I'm assuming these are tier 3 beds. Correct me in the comments down below if that's not correct. Of course, right now you'll be able to respawn at them. I don't know what the future intention is for the different medical beds. They can heal different levels of injuries, right? So if you have a tier 1 injury, I don't think these beds are going to be able to heal that. Again, the tier of injury needs to correspond with the tier of bed to be able to fully be able to heal. They will of course be able to heal you, but they won't get rid of the injury. They'll kind of just be able to mitigate the effects of that injury, right? So aside from the respawn capabilities, you're still gonna have those tier 1 beds that come out a little bit more advantageous. But if you're using this for bunkers or anything like that and you die, you can respawn here and you don't have to worry about the tier injury that you have, because when you die and you come back, that injury goes away. So I think that this is going to be very attractive for a lot of players who are playing in groups of 2 or 3 or something like that, right? If you can have a ship like this that's this small, that's this capable, right? You can go in there with a couple of buddies and you can set your respawns to this. You don't need a Carrack, you don't need a Polaris or anything like that. You can do it out of this ship. I know a lot of people use the Nursa, right? But the Nursa is kind of exposed. It's just a ground vehicle. It doesn't offer the same security as something like this does, like a ship. And the same thing with the Pisces R. The Pisces R is kind of just like an ambulance vehicle. Really good to set your respawn point, but again, it's kind of a little bit softer than something like a Starlancer. If someone starts shooting at the Pisces, it's gonna pop pretty quick, versus something like this that's gonna have a lot more shields, a lot more hull HP, that type of thing. There's more security in having your imprint on a ship like this.
The engineering and the cockpit are the same as the Max.
And in the cockpit, it's very spacious. It's accommodate pilot, co-pilot. It looks really cool because it's integrated with the bridge.
The turret room is located in the belly of the ship. At first glance, it resembles a shrine to warfare, with all the red lights around the ammunition, and the turret sits on the left and the right. It looks really cool.
Yeah, this is a really cool room. I don't think these ammunition things do anything. I think they're just kind of set dressing, but it's a pretty cool room with the 2 seats facing each other there. They go out and turn around so you can get in the turrets. I think they did a really good job with this space.
The animations are really cool. From the hatch closing over the player to the seat rotating and going into the turret, and the guns sliding out in preparation for battle.
The Starlancer would be for like teams of players who really like missions in a large group of like soldiers. As well as like the actual people crewing the ship and the turrets, you've got quite a lot of space for ground pounders with rifles. The cargo bay in the back can be used for like some of the smaller vehicles like the Cyclone. I think it's a really good ship for like just team play.
Now, one thing that they didn't show you there is, I believe, and I'm not sure about this, that area where the troops come out is also supposed to have a door gun on it, kind of like the Valkyrie on the side. When the sides open up, you have kind of door guns too. I didn't see that in that clip, but it's pretty dark in a lot of the footage that they showed here, so it's kind of hard to make out certain things. So it might still have that, but let's keep going. Cool. Find it at Invictus, May 15th to 27, 29.55. So now we've seen that, let's go over real quick and take a look at the actual event schedule. All right, so we have the event schedule here, starting off with Grey Cat and Aegis. So one of the things that you guys might notice about the PTU preview of the event showcase space is that all the manufacturers are on display at the same time, which is kind of odd because, again, they usually categorize it at different times. Now, were they testing out the finale where all the manufacturers are together? Because you can see May 26 and 27 is the finale. So Maybe that's what they were testing out in the space, where you see everything on display at once, but the convention center looks different on the specific manufacturer days, because it would be kind of weird for the the showcase space to have the space for all of the ships, but all of the ships aren't going to be displayed. Or maybe these days are just the days where the ships go on sale, but the displaying all the ships all the time, that would be an interesting kind of setup. Maybe they did that because they didn't want to have a different convention setup for each days, because again, what they usually do is that they have a manufacturer day and they have the convention center space set up just for that manufacturer, and then the next day they have another manufacturer, and the previous day's manufacturer is on a second convention floor or whatever, and they essentially have two manufacturers displayed at the same time. And in my personal opinion, that is a lot of work for the devs to do, to essentially set up showcases for all of the ships by manufacturer, by day. It would be a lot easier to just have, certain ships on display the whole time, and then these manufacturer days are just kind of a store sale, right? But I don't know if that's what they're gonna do. That floor showcase might just be the finale, right? But the first day we have Grey Cat and Aegis, so we're more likely gonna look at that new Grey Cat ground vehicle that they might have teased in the back of Starlancer TAC. Then we have Aegis, right? So you're gonna have another opportunity to pick up the Idris. That's a limited hull sale. Then we have Origin, which is interesting. I don't know really how many Origin ships are going to be available. We have the 300 series. Maybe we'll see the 400 series, 600 Explorer. We won't see the 890 Jump probably. Maybe the 100i, that type of thing. RSI, of course, the Polaris is going to be on sale again. We might see the Galaxy, right? Galaxy has some combat and logistical use cases. Argo, of course, we're going to see that for the Polaris. So it's kind of like a military ship there. We might see a combat exosuit for the Atlas. That's going to be pretty interesting. Consolidated Outland, right? I don't think the Pioneer is going to be on sale. It's not a combat vehicle, but more likely we could see the Mustang series. We might even see the Nomad, right? Then we have MISC. We're definitely going to see the TAC, Freelancer series. Of course, we might even see the Alliance series there. Morai, of course. We're going to have the Guardian and the Furies. The new Guardian MX, the missile variant. Then we have Crusader. Crusader has a lot of great military ships. A1, A2, right? We're definitely going to see the Ares series there, of course. Then we have Tumble, right? You've got the Nova tanks. You've got the Cyclones. Then Anvil Aerospace. This is the big one. This is probably where we're going to either see a number of different ships, right? We could see the Asgard, right? We could see the Paladin, right? And I recently saw Guardian's video. We might see the Legionnaire, right? So Legionnaire was something that CIG said that was coming last year, but they wanted to work on hacking before that ship came out. That would be very interesting, right? If we have these capital ships and hacking at the same time. Maybe they might release it before hacking. Maybe it's just kind of one of those things. You put charges on the door, you blow it up, you shoot the door open, that type of thing. Because you can just shoot the doors open. But there might be some kind of docking technology needed for that. I don't know, right? The Asgard might be concept, might be straight to flyable. We don't know, right? You're definitely going to have access to buy all of the ships, whether they're straight to flyable or not. Then we have Drake. Very interesting. Drake does not have a defense con this year. They're part of the actual show, right? A lot of people theorized, will we, won't we see the Ironclad? I don't think we'll see the Ironclad this year, but more likely we'll be able to buy one. So if you were looking for getting an Ironclad, picking one up, you missed the opportunity last time, you get another opportunity to pick it up. Again, all these manufacturer combat ships will be on sale. Keyword here being combat ships. And then of course we have the finale where all ships will be available and rentable. So you will be able to click on these ships and take them for a spin, right? If they're straight to flyable. Ships like the TAC, if you think the TAC is cool and exciting, you don't have to buy it. You can just rent it, fly it around, experience it for a little while, see if you actually want to pull the trigger on it. Again, I highly recommend you guys try these ships out. More than likely, there will also be a free fly. So if you don't have Star Citizen and you want to try out all of these ships, you will be able to go to the convention center, click on the ship, rent it, fly it around, test it, see if you like it before you buy it. I highly suggest you guys try out all these ships before you put down real money. These ships are expensive. They are a big investment. I'm not trying to tell anybody that they should be buying these ships to enjoy the game. It's one of those things that you have to consider if you want to support the company, if you believe in what they're doing, that type of thing. There's not a guarantee of your gameplay experience is going to be better than someone else's because you spent a lot of money. These ships are ownable in game. After that 3-month exclusivity window, they'll be available in in-game shops. You'll be able to craft them down the road in the future. So don't feel obligated that you have to make some kind of purchasing decision right now. But yeah, I just wanted to say that I am very excited for this year's Invictus. There's a lot of ships coming out. I mean, if you do plan on buying ships, prepare your wallet. The way that I kind of look at it is that I've already put a lot of money into the game, into my account, right? So I'm more likely just going to move things around to check out ships so I can be able to review them for you guys. Of course, we'll be able to rent all of this stuff on the show floor, so that makes it a lot easier for me to be able to show you guys ship like the Starlancer TAC without spending any real money. And I really do appreciate that. Typically when these ships go live, you can't rent them. But what's nice about Invictus and IAE is that you can just rent them to take a look at, and it makes my job as a ship reviewer, content creator, a little bit easier, especially on my wallet. So let me know what you guys think about this year's Invictus. I'm really excited, very interested to see what you guys think about some of the leaks. What do you think we're going to see there? I made my predictions video a little bit earlier, and I really love hearing what you guys have to say about everything that's coming out. I love theory crafting and doing this type of stuff. I just think it's exciting, right? I've been enjoying playing the game as well. There's a lot of new missions that are actually really fun. If you guys have been trying out the space combat missions, doing some of the training, very good stuff. I think CIG has been focusing more on balance and making it a better experience, right? This is gonna be a free fly event. A lot of new players are gonna come into. CIG has been making more money this year, and I think that's the goal, that's the key, is making the game more playable, because the more you play, the more you're going to want to spend, right? No one wants to spend money on a game that they're not playing. But if you have an opportunity to get into the content and it feels good and it is playable, people are going to want to support that. So that's going to be it for me in this video, you guys. Thanks for hanging out with me again. I always love seeing you guys' faces. I see a lot of the same commenters in the comments down below, so don't be shy down there. Tell me what you think about all of this stuff. I like talking to you guys. But like I always say at the end of these videos, you guys, like the video if you liked it. Subscribe if you want to see more. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Salute.